Have you ever been watching a video essay and just really wished that there was some audience surrogate so that they could be asking the questions that you're thinking about because you're confused about something? Well, that's what this is. I'm Paige.
I'm Jax.
And this is going to be a conversation where I attempt to explain the entire history of Stampylonghead, the cat who raised a generation. Now, I feel like this should go without saying, but I'm going to cover our ground a little bit here anyway, just to play safe. Joseph Garrett is a gaming YouTuber making primarily all-ages Minecraft content, and he is a real person, separate from the character he plays, and I am mentioning that because I just know there will be someone in the comments confused. Also, his real name is obviously not Stampy, it's Joseph, but Stampy is the name he goes by online. We'll get to that later. He uses he, him pronouns, and while I am like 90% sure that I remember hearing him say somewhere in a stream that he also uses they, them, the wiki disagrees with me, so I'm gonna take that as the case. He has two sisters, Rachel and Annette, the latter of whom used to run a channel called Nettie Plays. And he is married to Kai Garrett, better known as Sqaishey, who is gender fluid and uses they, them pronouns. Also, I am saying this right now, I am sorry if at some point I accidentally referred to Sqaishey as Shay. I have been watching these two since I was 7, so cut me some slack. In the beginning, Stampy was in high school when he realized that he enjoyed video production, but the story really begins in August of 2006. That's when he created his first YouTube channel, Stampylonghead. The name Stampy Longnose comes from a character in a short film that he did of a few years before this channel was made, called Stampylonghead. He changed the head to a nose because it was a reference to his real-life appearance, where he has kind of a long nose. Look, okay, he has never explicitly said that part, but he did allude to that being the case. So, yeah. He filled the channel in the early days with just simple videos of him and his friends doing dumb stuff and falling over things. But it didn't stay that way for long, as his filmmaker brain kicked in and he started making short movies, stop motions, and short animations, leading to the birth of such classics as the unlikely superhero Inhaler Man!
An inhaler man does whatever an inhaler can, sprays air from a can. Just like Duran Duran. Watch out! Here comes the Inhaler Man.
And after this, he started doing video production in higher education, where he posted a lot of his videos on YouTube. They didn't do very well, but he was just excited to be making more videos in general. But now, that leads us into the early gaming stuff. At the same time as he was making his school projects, he was also watching a lot of Let's Plays. Struck with a sudden burst of inspiration, he bought a cheap capture card and recorded some early gaming commentaries, mostly Call of Duty. And these videos were really, really bad, but somehow they caught the attention of a website called GamesThirst.com, which asked him to make a video review of a new game for them. They loved his content so much that they made him a video producer for them full-time, making all sorts of gaming-related content, most of it was scripted. At the same time, he was also making videos on his personal channel still, where he gradually shifted to more Halo content. But it couldn't last. As he entered his last few months of university, he lost anything resembling free time. And so, tragically, he had to end the Stampy Longnose channel, as well as because making the highly edited scripted videos took up most of his time, and he needed some sort of time to, have a social life and stuff.
You know, that whole thing where you have friends or whatever.
Yeah. But after this was the new channel, Stampylonghead. Stampy was no longer able to make his super polished videos, but he did still want to make some content, and thus was born his second channel, Stampylonghead. On this channel, he returned to the lower polished Let's Plays that he'd started with purely for fun, so that he could make content he enjoyed while also having free time. Early on in the days of this new channel, Minecraft had recently come out for the Xbox 360, and a lot of his friends were picking it up. Not wanting to be left out, Stampy joined in on the fun, creating Stampy's lovely... I I fully forgot I had that image. But not wanting to be left out, Stampy joined in on the fun, creating Stampy's Lovely World. This, right here, probably the most important decision the cat ever made. For the first time in his life, Stamps had an actual audience. Specifically, he had an audience of a lot of young people, and as soon as he realized that, he immediately stopped cursing or playing any adult-themed games, phasing them out in favor of a lot more Minecraft. It was around this time that he obtained his iconic skin, which amusingly is not actually a cat at all. It's a bat named Screech from the game Dust and Elysian Tale. But it looks like a cat, and thus, Stampy Cat was born.
It's a cat in our hearts.
Yep. But after this was when Minecraft took center stage. In the early days of his Minecraft career, Stampy was making all sorts of videos, but a lot of them involved collaborating with other YouTubers. Specifically, one very notable YouTuber, IBallisticSquid. In early 2013, Stampy and Squid Nugget met, and quickly they became thick as thieves. They planned to do 1 or 2 videos together for fun, but 1 or 2 soon ballooned into doing hundreds of videos over the course of their shared 10 years on the platform. And among those, there are 3 really interesting ones that I wanted to point out. First was one called Quest, which started as Quest to Kill the Ender Dragon, where in 24 episodes, they attempted to slay the Ender Dragon. And then they did. But then they had so much fun with it that they just kept doing, leading to around 200 episodes when they finally ended the series. Also, there was this Sky Island style series that they did on Squid's channel called Islands of Eden, which was like this massive, it was kind of like Skyblock, it was this massive set of loosely interconnected islands where they just went and they had a good time. This is very similar to something that you'll see in a later slide, although it actually came after that thing. And also, again on Squid's channel, there was a series called Crazy Craft, which was this absolutely hilarious modded series that ran for probably around 100 episodes, if I had to guess, and was just a ton of fun. There was absolutely no point to it, but they enjoyed it so much anyway. As did I, perhaps understandably.
I have to ask, because I know the answer is no, but I just need to clarify for my sake. This squid, separate from I'm a Squid Kid from the potato.
Yes, completely different people. But, okay, it was also around this time when Stampy introduced something that he called the Love Garden, which is a place where he puts signs and gives shoutouts to people who made something special for him. In the early days, it was kind of just anyone who commented on his videos, because his channel was pretty small, but these days it is mostly a place to, like, show off fan art and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then, after this, we get to 2013, which many, and by many I just mean I, because I have no idea if anyone else thinks this, but I consider this to be a golden age for Stampy. This was right when most of his fans were at the exact right age to enjoy his content, leading to his channel booming in popularity. This was when the aforementioned Quest series was beginning, as well as when his storytelling was beginning to show through in his Minecraft videos. So, Stampy has an ongoing narrative that I'll talk more about later, that's mostly relating to him and an evil villain named Hit the Target, who wants to steal all of Stampy's dogs and get an evil dog army for himself.
Why would they do that to dogs? Those dogs did nothing wrong. They're just dogs.
But, yeah, so I will get to more of that in the future, but that narrative it started back in 2012 and stretches all the way up to now, but there were 3 really big episodes for it in 2013. This was when the videos Revelation, Cat to the Future, and Sinking Feeling happened, all of which, actually I don't think I will talk about them later, so I'm going to do a quick tangent right now. So, as you'll see in a later slide, Hit the Target supposedly died in his first appearance, but then he kept showing back up as a ghost, and in the episode Revelation, it was revealed that he'd been alive but in the nether this whole time. Get to the Future was when he traveled back in time, wanting to just eat the most delicious cake in the world a second time, but he accidentally traveled back to the time of dinosaurs. Then he put himself into suspended animation like Captain America, and survived and stayed that way until like a week before the present day for that video, where he teamed up with a past version of himself to defeat Hit the Target.
That's a lot of time nonsense.
Yes, it is, and I love it. And lastly, Sinking Feeling was the episode where he saw a pirate ship off in the distance and was like, huh, what weird helper did that? And he realized, wait, that color scheme. Is that Hit the Target? And he grabbed his own sailing ship, the SS Stumpy, and he had this epic naval battle with Hit the Target that ended with him going, "Hit the Target's attacking, give him a smacking, almighty Kraken!" to summon the actual Kraken, who turned out to just be IBallisticSquid. IBallisticSquid was the Kraken. At the same time, he was making a ton of new friends through Minecraft, leading to his Minecraft helpers, as he called them, appearing in every video to just goof around and help him build. Plus, he created a thing, as you'll see on the bottom left, called the Funland, where he created an amusement park for all sorts of rides and, mostly, minigames. It seemed he was on the top of the world. His channel was growing rapidly. He was having the time of his life. Nothing could go wrong. And then...
Did something go wrong?
Channel terminated.
Something went wrong.
You could say that. Hashtag save Stampy. Completely out of the blue, Stampy woke up and saw that his entire channel had been deleted by Google. Distraught and horrified, he wanted to curl into a ball and sob, but he didn't. Instead, he went to Twitter and Facebook. Yes, this was the era when Twitter and Facebook were both valid social media platforms. And he posted about what happened, saying that he would fight to get his channel back up, and if he failed, he would start a new channel immediately. Within hours, a petition to bring back his channel had been created. Hashtag Save Stampy was trending on Twitter, and even legit articles from solid news sources were being written about him. Luckily, fellow YouTuber LD Shadow Lady was able to contact one of her friends who worked at Google and send him Stampy's information. And by the time Stampy was going to bed that night, his channel had been restored, all thanks to his amazing community being able to spread the word. The next few years, Stampy's channel continued growing rapidly, from around 900k after Save Stampy to over 10 million today. I wish I could give you more exact dates for that, but between 1 million and 5 million, he didn't do any subscriber specials, so I cannot tell you so I can't tell you when each milestone happened. In 2015 and 2016, he partnered with Maker Studios from Disney to create a pair of edutainment shows called Wonder Quest and I Wonder. Wonder Quest was this narrative show where he and a new guy named Wizard Kane teamed up to go on various adventures that involved lots of time-hopping shenanigans, where that ended up teaching kids. I think the first season was mostly about history. The second season had more math and science mixed in as well. And I Wonder was a companion show to that, fully 3D animated, which was very impressive to me at the time, and also just very impressive in general. The animation's pretty good. And which didn't have so much of a narrative. It kind of felt like a more standard kids show, but it was a tie-in with the Wonder Quest episodes to give more in-depth explanations of the stuff that they had to brace around for the sake of the narrative. And in Wonder Quest, he ended up partnering with a bunch of other YouTubers including EvanTube HD, who is another of my childhood heroes, and is the same age as us, which was really, really cool. So seeing another kid on the platform. No, it was not one of those weird things where it's like, parent shoves a camera in the kid's face.
I figured it was not. It's just trippy hearing about people the same age as you doing so much more than you.
Yeah, that's fair. And also, Evan was a huge fan of Stampy at the time, so I imagine that must have been really, really cool for him.
Must have.
But in late 2015, many of his helpers started drifting away from him, or just from Minecraft in general. At the same time, he was also trying to mix more storytelling and roleplay in, so he used this as an opportunity.
Hello, this is Editor Pitch. I had an incredibly hard time speaking during this next section, so I'm just going to re-record it now because I have a script and I'm not just going to be rambling. Prior to this, all of his helpers had been real people that he was friends with. However, following the departure of Elfer Lee, his former primary helper, things changed a little bit. Stampy introduced 3 new helpers, Polly Reindeer, William Beaver, and Fizzy Elephant, instead. None of these are real people. These are characters played by actors who don't need to be consistent since none of them speak. Now, Stampy can have long-running arcs with his characters while not needing to try and work around schedules for consistent characters. That allows him to tie them in more closely with the mythos, as well as being able to connect them with Hit the Target. Now, back to your regularly scheduled rambling.
Also, around the same time, he started writing books. Published 2 books in October 2015 and July 2016, titled Stampy's Lovely Book, which I own, and Stick with Stampy, respectively. This one is a children's activity book. Let me see if I can... this is a picture of some fan art that some of his audience made for him. This was some activity. I don't feel like trying to figure out where it is right now. So on and so forth.
I think it was fun.
Quite possibly. I don't know. I didn't actually look at it. I didn't have any of that prepared. That was entirely off the cuff.
Fair enough.
If you couldn't tell. And the latter, which I do not own, is, as the name implies, a sticker book. There's another picture of Stampy's Lovely Book, and there is Stick with Stampy. And now I'm going to do a quick tangent away from the story of his channel to just talk about some other stuff that I would be remiss not to mention. First of all, the ever-important dub. In 2014, he stumbled upon a little YouTuber named Sqaishey Quack and was their 11th subscriber, which is adorable, and also Sqaishey was a fan of Stampy, so I feel like that must have been very, very cool to them.
Imagine you've got 10 subscribers and then you look and it's someone you've been looking up to.
Yeah.
11 and it's just, oh my.
And barely 2 months later, Stampy reached out to the duck, asking them to be in a series he was starting called Skydad. This is the one similar to Islands of Eden, which I mentioned with Squid earlier, but again, this one happened before Islands of Eden did. And shortly after the series began, they started dating, which Sqaishey themselves announced. And on July 28th, 2018, the cat-duck duo announced that they got engaged, and exactly a year later, they got married. And now, the lore! So...
There's always lore.
Yes, there is. And I have most of this written on a sheet of paper I have down on my lap, and I'm not even going to be pretending to be looking at the camera for this one, so I will just be mixing in footage on screen for this. Don't look at us. So, originally, Hit the Target was just an ordinary helper, until one day he attacked Stampy's home, attempting to steal his dogs. Stampy defeated him, killing him with lava, but due to awful Xbox 360 internet connections, his ghost remains. That's what you're seeing on screen right there. That is a picture of hit the target with the text, hit the target went up in flames, while hit the target very clearly still being there. Yeah, that was originally just a glitch because there was so much lag on the Xbox 360 wireless at the time. But following this, he turned it into more lore. Said ghost haunted Stampy for months, often appearing in the background of his videos, until one day, Stampy met him in the Nether, where he explained that he was not trying to capture the dogs, he was trying to save them. From what? I'm not entirely sure, but that's what he said. While they were in the Nether, Stampy killed him to bring him back to the overworld, but this was a bad decision, as he stole all of the dogs until only his favorite, Barnaby, was left. Stampy managed to save the dogs, but hit the target escaped. From there, the pattern was established that most future encounters would follow. Hit the target appears, attempting to attack Stampy and steal his dogs. Stampy and one or more helpers would team up to defeat him, and you've not seen the last of Hit the Target. However, in the episode Friends and Foes, something new happened. A woman named Viva Dash appeared, and at first seemed to be another helper, until she saw Hit the Target and revealed herself to have been working with him all along. The two of them summoned a freaking wither for Stampy to fight, but luckily, William Beaver appeared, saving the day, because that's William Beaver's primary characteristic, is that he's really good at combat. That same general pattern of hit the target and Viva Dash attack, Stampy and some helpers stop him, continued for quite a while, getting more and more intense, but still fundamentally being the same, until the episode Tragic Day. Hit the target and Viva Dash used a cloning machine that Stampy has had ever since 2014. Don't question it, Stampy made a cloning machine in 2014.
In Minecraft?
Yes, in Minecraft.
Okay.
And then barely did anything with it until the episode Tragic Day, where Hit the Target and Viva Dash used that cloning machine to take one dog and multiply it into many, finally giving them their evil dog army, which was 10 times bigger than Stampy's own wolf pack. Stampy and the helpers killed most of the evil dogs, but at the same time, they also accidentally killed 3 of their own. But that's what was believed, until the episode I Won, where Stampy found that one of those dogs had actually survived and was being used to lure Stamps into a trap. Well, he managed to get out of the trap, grab his dog, and Hit the Target into a trap of his own that should have been impossible for him to break out of. Of course, it wasn't impossible for him to break out of it, because Viva Dash was very much not trapped, which led to a few more fairly unimportant lore developments until one very important one. So remember how I told you that Stampy's favorite dog was named Barnaby?
Yeah.
So, the thing with... for several episodes after Hit the Target got free, some signs started appearing in the Love Garden, eventually totaling up to, Barnaby has been poisoned. He will slowly die. Come to my castle for the cure. Signed, Hit the Target. Well, he did, of course, but he was faced with an impossible choice. Let Barnaby die, or give up control of his entire lovely world to Hit the Target and Viva Dash. Obviously, Stampy didn't want to do either of those, so what he ended up with was option C. Take the Funland instead? It was better, and that's what happened, and for almost 5 months, it was Hit the Target's Funland. Till finally, in the episode Christmas Truce, he managed to win it back. This is not quite the end of the story with Hit the Target. There is one more recent thing that capped out with episode 800 recently, but that one just isn't that interesting, and we've been at this section long enough. The Dark Days. In late 2018, Stampy's content appeared to be slowing down, and on Christmas Day of that year, he announced that he was going to fully take a break to attempt to write a novel. He didn't fully stop making content altogether, at least not for very long. He came back in April of 2019. But he didn't make another Lovely World video until mid-2020, so it felt a lot longer to me and to a lot of his fans as well. However, on August 19th, 2020, he posted episode 659 of his Lovely World series, officially bringing the series back. At the same time, he was also doing a new series with Sqaishey called Space Den, a follow-up to Sky Den, as well as the two Den series in the middle, Cave Den and Ocean Den. It seemed that the dark times were over, and Stampy was back. I cannot possibly express how awesome this was, having grown up with the cat as a child, and then going back to him as a teenager, only to see that he had a long hiatus on the one series I really wanted to watch. So having his stuff back in the middle of the pandemic, no less, was awesome. So, where is he now? Well, I wish I could tell you that he's still going strong, but he isn't. While he does appear to still be enjoying what he's doing, nothing lasts forever, and he has been doing this for over a decade at this point. In January of this year, he tweeted out saying that episode 800 would be his last numerical landmark for the Lovely World series. As of writing this, his most recent episode was episode 804. By the time you see this video, it'll have been 805. The series will end this year, but Stampy has said he won't be fully done with everything. He's going to continue posting series about games that catch his eye, like a current playthrough of the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, and he is going to continue appearing on Sqaishey's channel now and then, but he won't have a new Minecraft series to replace Lovely World when it's done. So, with all that being said, thank you, Stampy, for being so incredibly awesome, and for practically raising my generation. Any questions?
And you said it'll keep being on Sqaishey's channel?
Yeah.
What kind of content do they make?
Just other gaming related, mostly Minecraft stuff.
Okay, cool.
Like, there's the series the two of them have called A Cat and a Duck, that is just, as far as I can tell, just a regular Minecraft survival series with the two of them. So, yeah, he will continue showing up in that, and presumably sometimes in other stuff, but he's not going to do much more on his own channel. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok and Twitter at thatdamndemi, Dam spelled D-A-M. It's a Percy Jackson reference because I'm hilarious. And I do cosplay stuff sometimes, and I think it's fun. So if you want to check me out there.
Alright. And so, until next time, bye-bye!